Greetings, programs. Welcome to Hydaelyn's Heroes, the Final Fantasy XIV podcast, where whether you're a warrior of light or warrior of darkness, all are welcome to this call on the star we call home. It has been a hot minute since I've done that. I'm Tarkoth. Welcome to Tarkoth Gaming and Hydaelyn's Heroes. We talk about Final Fantasy XIV here, and it has been over a year. I want to say a year and a half since we've done this. And to join me in talking about Final Fantasy XIV, I bring the man, the myth, the Wolverine to my Deadpool. He is the Cinco de Papi for his 5 legends. He is Piers. What's up, my dude? How you doing?
That's cursed. Cinco de Papi. All right.
Oh yeah, let's go.
I do like that better than Penta Legend. I dislike the fact that they've gone Penta with this one. I much prefer the Quintuple Legend. I think it rolls off the tongue better. And if you don't think that I'm going to be the Sextuple Legend when I clear through, you got me messed up, dude. I'm absolutely no Hexa Legend here, boy. It's only Sextuple Legend in this house. But yes, how you doing? It's been a while. Glad to be back. I think we're going to have some interesting things to talk about today.
Yes.
So,
well, you think about that. We'll get to that in just a moment. But since it's been a year and a half, we kind of want to first, see how we've been doing. It's been a long time since we've gone live here, and I'm gonna start with you. Like, how you been doing with 14 in the year and a half since we last did? And that was 6.4, my dude. 6.4. That was gold
6.4. Yeah, gosh. That was before Zeramis was even a thing. I guess the biggest thing we can discuss is the fact that I did clear top finally.
Yeah.
In 6.5. That was an ordeal, but it was a lot of fun. It's probably not my favorite ultimate, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Other than that, I've just been vibing for the past year and a half. Not a whole lot to talk about.
We had FanFest.
FanFest was a lot of fun this year. Glad to be back in person at FanFest.
Mm-hmm. God, it was hot in Vegas, though. It was sweaty,
super hot in Vegas that week for sure. But it was a really good time. I had fun seeing you. Had fun seeing the friends, and just
getting
to do something in person again. Yeah, getting Dawn Trail reveal. That was a lot. Even though I was outside in line to get into the venue when they dropped the first trailer for Dawn Trail, I did watch it on my phone in the blazing heat and bright sun of Las Vegas. But still, it was a lot of fun. You could hear the people cheering from inside the venue from outside. It was cool. It was a lot of fun. So
I forgot that you weren't standing right there with us. Like, you kind of joined us right after the trailer was done, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was like right after the trailer. I think Yoshi was still doing the keynote, so that's when we slipped in and got to see everything in person. So
cool beans. Since 6.4 we had Zeromus. We had that really middling MSQ patch for 6.5 that introduced Wookiee and we'll definitely get to that at some point. But yeah, I too also cleared top. It was a struggle beyond struggles. Went with 2 different statics and got canceled out of one of them. That's its own story that we're not going to go into much here. Did Party Finder for like a month and a half, I think. Just like every day, I was just like in Party Finder. Just desperate for a fucking clear. Sorry for about my language, but and then finally I was like, you know what? I know this fight. And then you finally joined me in on it. Like, I know this fight. We paid some mercenaries to fill the holes in not, having to deal with people being just awful. So
yeah. It was one of those situations where we didn't really have much of a choice, right? It was either
a week before Dawn, so
I think it was like 2 days, bro. Like, it was real close. Like, we pushed it all the way to the end of Endwalker to get it done for you, and that's why I offered. I was just like, desperate times call for desperate measures and all that. Figure it might as well just hire people who, know what they're doing and are in here for the bag, which means they're not going to sandbag, preferably. Yeah. And we did find a group that was firing on all cylinders, and we got it done. So, and sure there could be a stigma, behind hiring mercenaries, but at the end of the day, you still had to pull your weight. I still had to pull my weight.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody still has to pull their weight. It's not like somebody's piloting our character or anything like that.
Yeah,
So
I was
still
playing my
clear.
character. It
Yep.
was a clear, and if anybody knows anything, like if one person messes up, like they lose their stack and they can't do their LB. And in my particular case, if I had died, that's a wipe because I can't do the towers. So I had to do my part. I did my part. Everyone did their part. It was clear. So I am now a triple legend. You're Cinco de Papi. Upgrade from the quad father. So
yes.
I don't know what I'm going to call you when we hit 6, but we'll figure something out.
Yes.
Speaking of, the 6th, ultimate is coming up, and they kind of talked about it just last night. So I'm going to throw you a curveball, my friend. We were going to talk about Dawn Trail MSQ, but we are going to sideline that until next week.
Okay.
And we are going to talk about Live Letter 83.
Oh, we're doing Live Letter. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man. It's Crossroads, man. And they gave us the key art, and the key art is sick.
Key art's very good. I was surprised to see me and my best friend in my heart, Ultima, who is both of our friends, he and I are both very big Final Fantasy XI fans.
Yeah.
That's where we met, and that is where I started in MMOs. So I hold it very close to my heart. I still play it from time to time when 14 is having some content lull. So I very much love 11 deep down, and it is very, very prominent in this key art. 2 characters in specific. The Shadow Lord at the top right there, who is the main villain of at least the vanilla Final Fantasy XI. Very recognizable character, very tragic character. If you ever do any sort of research into Final Fantasy villains, the 11 villain Shadow Lord is very, very, very underappreciated, in my opinion. Very cool character. I hope they do him justice in 14. But front and center is the character Prish, who is also from Final Fantasy XI, specifically the second expansion, Change of Promathia. So she is probably the fan favorite. She's like the Final Fantasy girl. It's funny because like every expansion in 11 has like the waifu of the expansion,
Sure.
And Prish is like the waifu. The waifu. She's one of those situations where it's like, I guess I don't want to spoil too much. She's older than she looks. Let's put it that way. But she's like stuck in the body of a young girl. So that's her in the front there. But she's definitely prominent in the story of Chains of Promathia and in the story after Chains of Promathia. So I'm interested to see how they weave her into this story, especially considering the fact that we seem to be focusing on the vanilla Final Fantasy XI story for this first branch of the 24-man raid.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how they're going to integrate Chains of Promathia into this. But I don't want to talk too much because we'll get there. But yes, I love this key art. It's great. I think we got Bakul Jaja there as well.
Bakul.
I don't know what she's doing there. We can
Probably
talk about why.
Probably something to do with MSQ. Yeah.
We can see the Cloud of Darkness there at the bottom left.
Oh yeah.
We know why that's there. There is some speculation on whether it could also be 11 related because she is also in 11, but there is a piece of content that will be released in this patch that also has to do with the Cloud of Darkness that we can talk about. And of course, at the very top of the key art, we have Her Magnificence, the combination of the Oracle of Darkness and the Oracle of Light. Raya or Geen sounds awful.
Gaia Reen. I think it's just Reen, and she's like maybe absorbed Gaia into her because she's wearing Gaia's clothes, and those are actual like angel wings. Those are legit angel wings.
Yeah.
So like I wonder if like it's Rin Prime or Oracle Prime. And it's just the mixture of the light and the dark together. God, that's going to be awesome. The ultimate's going to be awesome.
That's of course, yes, going to show us what we might be going against in the ultimate that is coming in this patch as well.
And to be honest, like I'm surprised they showed Reen, at least in this form. I figured they'd show Gaia and Reen. They're just their normal, forms, human forms. For them to show this, like this has got to be a later stage thing that would be kind of a surprise. Like
people are speculating this could be the final phase. I don't know. Like you said, I don't think they're going to show the final phase. in the key art. So I think that we might be seeing something a little even more crazy for the final part of FRU, even though I hate that acronym, but whatever. We'll just call it FRU. It's fine.
I mean, that they called it Futures Rewritten, and it's the ultimate. So, Uffer? No, FRU. Sorry.
Uffer? I like Uffer better.
No, you don't.
But no, yeah, this is looking great. I'm wondering if the Crossroads title is multifaceted, as in we're crossing with Final Fantasy XI. You know, maybe this has something to do with the crossing of light and darkness and FRU. Like, it could be a whole number of things. And of course, we have the MSQ to talk about too, which I'm sure Bakul Jaja is part of. So maybe there's something to do with crossing roads there. So
a crossroads for Tuliolal as a nation.
True,
because we just got 2 new Dawn servants and having to deal with that whole other plane of existence kind of seeping in. So a lot to go with just crossroads. Also, it was like, oh, it's just one word. Like, I was expecting like defenders of Tuliolal expand, patch, whatever. So like, to get one word, I was like, oh, it's just okay, crossroads. Nice and simple.
Quick, short and concise. I kind of like it.
All right, next up, they did give us a date range, mid-November 2024. So this could mean the 12th or the 19th. Do you have a preference?
The 19th. The later, the better.
Yeah,
gives us more time to farm up for Ultimate. Gives us more time to figure stuff out. Let's put it that way. So,
my issue is, I believe typically the Ultimates come 2 weeks after the release of the patch, so it gives people time to do MSQ and stuff. So I want the 19th for family lives, personal lives. I don't want an Ultimate dropping Thanksgiving week.
So that's true.
The 19th, if it's 2 weeks after, would be after Thanksgiving. Please let it be the 19th.
That gives me flashbacks of when I was progging T for the first time, because it was like the first week after T came out was Thanksgiving, and a lot of people took off, and we actually lost members because they were unwilling to let people take holiday time off for Thanksgiving. So now that you said that, let's hope to God it's the 19th.
So definitely hoping it's the 19th. So main scenario quests. We got our 2 new Dawn servants. The head of reason, head of resolve, talking to Graha here. Don't know what that's all about, but good to see them. I think we're going to be spending a lot of our time. Do you think that we're going to go back to previous zones much at all for this expansion's MSQ?
I feel like we probably will. I do feel like, especially the early zones, the ones where we went to in like the first half of the MSQ, were very underutilized. So I would hope that they go back and we see more of them. I know, and we're going to get to it, the first Beast tribe is going to be the Pelu Pelu. So I have a feeling that we will at least be going back to Urkopacha, for that at least. So we're gonna be in there quite a bit. But when it comes to the MSQ, hopefully we go back to Kazuma Uka and.
No, I totally expect that. What I was wondering is, do you think for this whole expansion, do you think we'd have much in the way of like going back to like Garlemald or?
Oh, you're talking zones before Dawn Trail.
Yeah. Or do you think this is going to be focusing a lot on Dawn Trail?
It would be really cool to go back to Garlemald. I know that's kind of the whole reason the twins, Alfino and Alisei, are even here. Was to figure out like what to do about Garlemald, the Garlemald problem, as they call it. So it would be cool to go back and see them figuring whatever they are doing out. I still want to see Garlemald restoration, personally.
That'd be sick.
That would be very sick. But I'm honestly not sure. I don't know. I would probably predict maybe Garlemald, and I don't know where else we could go. Maybe back to Radzat Han, because I know that
Vitra and that whole alliance now between
Vitra and them. They helped. They helped Tuliolal a lot in the MSQ. So maybe we could go back and talk to them about some stuff. So that'd be cool. But
I'm thinking that I want to say at least 80% is going to be in the new areas.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge issue with Heritage Found, that's seeping in of another dimension into our plane of existence. So yeah, that's going to be something interesting. Here we got Gulu Ja, the son of Zoral Ja. He's a cute little guy. I think he's going to have a big point of emphasis maybe for Dawn Trail, because he is, the son of the former ruler.
I mean, obviously our next week will be our discussion about Dawn Trail MSQ, but as far as I understand, he is the king now of Alexandria.
He's the king of Alexandria / Solution 9 Heritage Found. So yeah.
So I would feel like he probably should have some prominence. And I like him as a character. I think he's cool. So
cute little guy. He doesn't have his protector, but again, we'll go into that in the future. This has got to be Echo flashback, right? Zoral Ja.
Yeah, it's Zoral. Yeah.
Like, how did he even procreate? Who procreated?
Yeah, we need to find out.
Where's mom?
Who is the mother? We don't know the mother of like any of the kids, dude. Like, who is Zoral's mom? Who is Galul's mom? Or a good what's his name? Yeah, Galul. Yeah, who's Galul's mom? So we got to figure that out. I mean, there is a huge blank time where he went into that area, and it was like 10 years. Was it 10? I think. That passed in that dimension.
I think it was like 30.
30, yeah. So like there was like a lot of time that's just missing. So it'd be really cool to see what happened during that time, how he rose to prominence and became, the king. When we met him in the MSQ. So
all right, after you're done with your MSQ, you get your things unlocked, go ahead and start leveling up your next job that you want to bring it to level 100 with the new Allied Society quest. We no longer call them beast tribes. Okay, Piers, they're Allied Society quests.
These I don't know.
I know we're old school.
I would like to see a Pelu Pelu without the getup. I want to see what they just look like, just like in normal clothes. Are they just like little people? Or is there anything special about them? I don't know.
Shorter, higher hears. They're just humans. Yeah. That's it. And that's my opinion. I am absolutely shocked that this is our combat class tribe society.
Considering the fact that they are so entwined with trading, you would think maybe it would be a gathering or crafting. Well, okay. There's one crafting tribe that fits better.
Yeah.
But maybe gathering would be good for the Pelu Pelu. But I'm interested to see what they do.
Gather than trade it, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that there are combat classes, I'm like, wow, that is out of left field. I thought for sure the giants / trolls for you 11 players was going to be our combat society. So that and that you had a ready-made antagonist with the other half of the troll giant tribe, the ones in red. So like this was totally out of left field for me. But yeah, this is what you're going to do to level up your other jobs. So and hopefully we have some good minions and mounts.
Very cool.
Looks like maybe we'll be crossing over with the other zone, because we got the, oh my god, I was going to say Vanu, but they're not the Vanu. What are they called?
They're Vanu with an H. They're Hanu.
Hanu. Yes, the Hanu. So yeah, maybe we'll cross over zones and do stuff in multiple zones. Yay!
Yeah, that would be cool, considering the fact that I don't think we're going to see the Hanu as one of the allied quests. So I would like to see them, explored a little bit more in the Pelu Pelu one. I think that'd be really cool, because we don't get to find out too much about them through the MSQ. So.
And from this particular screenshot, like, it might be that we're helping in the Pelu Pelu, but in the Hanu zone.
Kazamuka.
Yeah. Thank you. Because that is not as arid and deserty as the other one. So.
Yeah, you can tell that doesn't look like Urkapacha there, where they're at. So.
All right. Also coming to us, a new custom delivery. Yay! Nedo Wikwe is going to be our target for delivering. This is in Shaloni. So, wasn't she part of the train issues?
We met her. Yeah, I think she was like she's like the conductor or like one of the higher ups of like the train people, the people who run the railroad. So I vaguely remember interacting with her on that whole train quest before the before Vanguard, the Vanguard dungeon.
And since the train is destroyed, maybe we're gonna facilitate supplies for a train to be rebuilt.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. And then of course we've got the train trolley bros, right? Our
yes,
doppelgangers from the first.
Yeah, Magnus and the other guys from that one zone.
Amarang.
God, Amarang from Amarang. Yes, the Talos friends. Yeah.
Yes. They were good chaps. So
they were. I enjoyed their story too. So it'll be fun to see their mirrors in the source. So.
All right. So yeah, custom deliveries. Get your crafter scripts, your gatherer scripts from that. Additional role quests. So I haven't done any of the role quests for Dawn Trail. Have you wrapped those up? I know you're still working on some leveling.
The only one that I have not finished is the Fizz ranged one. I believe, on the 96.
Nice.
Fizz ranged one, and I have Fizz ranged at 100. I don't know why. I think I just like forgot that I was doing them. So now that you've mentioned it, I might have to go back and finish that. But I'm assuming this is going to be the wrap up quest.
Yeah.
Where it brings them all together. So.
I'm a little behind. I'm just barely finishing Shadowbringers role quests, which was really nice. And then I need to, take care of Endwalker, and then I can do Dawn Trail role quests. But yeah, for those that hopefully they got a good wrap up, a good story, and get some cool reward.
Yeah, their track record on the wrap up one has been pretty solid. I really enjoyed the Endwalker one quite a bit.
Nice.
So I'm hoping they pull out the stops for this one. I've found the role quest to be fairly entertaining. It's a very novel concept that this literal group of minor villains are going out and stealing these totems to power themselves up and cause chaos. I think it's like also kind of goofy. Like they know that they're goofy and silly. So I don't know. It's just kind of funny. So
awesome. Also wrapping up are going to be the Wachumeki quests. I have gone hardcore into my crafting and gathering this expansion. Everyone's level 100 in that regard. Also did these as I was leveling, so I am pretty much caught up. So I'm ready for the finale of the Wachumeki quests, and hopefully I get another minion, because that is life for me.
Of course. I know that there was one for the previous, not the Crystarium, the Scholar. What was it called? Studium. The Studium. Mm-hmm. There was a minion you can get from the Studium. I still have to finish the Studium, and I have not even touched the Wachumeki yet, so I'll have to get into that at some point. But my only crafter at 100 is Blacksmith, because I just wanted to be able to meld my own stuff. So I'm behind on that. But I'm not going to wait until the last week of the expansion like I did in Endwalker to level up all my crafters. I promise. I will do it at some point, but
you know what?
Right now I've just been focusing on my combat stuff.
Do it like how I do Frontlines, okay? 1 level a day, and you'll eventually get there.
There you go.
Okay?
Yeah, it'll get done. Yeah.
You just got to do it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, looks like we're going to deal with the trolls, giants, so cool beans, and the moblins. Yeah, we'll be dealing with everybody. So good times. Speaking of good times, do you like Hildebrand?
Yes, I for what it's worth, I enjoy Hildebrand for what it is. I'm glad to see it back. I am glad. I do think it was a mistake to tie it to relic weapons. I'm going to throw it out there. I think that's really stupid. But the story itself is very entertaining. I enjoy it every time it comes out, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it's the fact that they made it essential when it was just supposed to be something lighthearted, and if you weren't into it, then you didn't have to be into it. That's fine.
Yeah.
The fact that they made people do it for the relic just rubbed me the wrong way, and then to compound the fact that then it was just a tombstone dub for the relic. So
it was a double whammy for sure. Like I have an alt, and I would have loved to be able to get my best in slot weapon for my alt, but I cannot be asked to go back and do all of those Hildebrand quests on my alt. I just cannot do that. a waste of time for me. So I never got it, and I probably never will for my alt, which is fine. But
do it. Well, everyone else did. Skip cutscene.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing for the Dawn Trail MSQ on my alt.
Oh my goodness!
Believe it or not, if you skip cutscenes for the Dawn Trail MSQ, it actually goes a lot faster than you expect.
Oh my goodness! Does it ever?
Yes, it sure does.
So much talking in the Dawn Trail MSQ, yes. But we'll get to that next week. So yeah, it looks like our friend. Oh my god, I'm just drawing a blank on her name.
That is Nashu.
Nashu, thank you. Nashu is having some issues with bombs and wanted to blow things up, and I guess we have to stop her. So
as she does, is that whose hand is that? Is that Hildy?
So
I can't tell.
I don't know. That could be the Warrior of Light. I'm thinking though that it might be someone in Solution 9 because they're using the gear they're wearing there is unique. Usually there's a new person for each area that comes in so they get their first taste of the insanity that is,
of course,
so maybe this is that person that's coming along is like, no, you cannot blow up Solution 9. You may not do that. So Nashu, I'm sure you'll get a chance to blow things up, but not that time.
I was really hoping the hand would be blocky so it could be Brandahild because nice. Brandahild is my spirit animal. All nice. Right. So nice. Hopefully he comes back.
Absolutely. Yeah. I hope he comes back too because he was one of my favorite parts from the last round. So
he's actually a very entertaining character. I liked him.
Other things coming in patch 7.1, new game plus support for all of 7.0. Is it weird that we can't do that sooner? Or is it just something we just got to deal with? You got to wait till the next patch to relive the patch.
Oh, the new game plus? Yeah. I don't know. There's probably some sort of system related thing they have to figure out to access new game plus. I'm honestly not sure. I've not even touched new game plus, but
so yeah, maybe it's just a patch thing. But I mean, couldn't you just do it for 7.08? Like at that point, it's been 3 months. Allow people that want to relive Dawn Trail, to relive it if they want to. But yeah, you can do new game plus for main scenario quests, job quests, and role quests. So, you've done both of the job quests for Picto and Viper, right? Were either of them
Okay, I take that back. Have I actually done either of them? I don't think I did either of them. I'll be honest with you.
That's funny.
And well, they didn't tie any abilities to it, so you technically don't have to do any of them, which is kind of a mistake in my opinion. But now that you mention that, it's not that I disliked it. I fucking love the Final Fantasy story, so I do want to go back and do them. But I guess I just unlocked them and went, hard in the paint, just leveled them up, and then forgot all about it. So
yeah, when I got my Reaper to, was it 90, or was it 80? It was 80. That's when I realized, oh yeah, I gotta do this quest because I need Enshroud.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of important. So the fact that it wasn't forced upon you, I guess, good. But
it's a bit of a perk, yeah. But then there's cases like me where you just don't get to experience the story because you literally forget about it. Yeah. So
true. Yeah. With duty support, they are looking to incorporate that function into side dungeons.
Yeah, of course they are.
So with 7.1, they're going to do Hydaelyn. I guess the process is one side dungeon every patch, maybe?
Now it's going to take forever for them to get through them all.
I know, right? It's going to be forever. Because just in A Realm Reborn, like that was the base game had so many side dungeons. It was ridiculous, especially like level 50. I think that Realm Reborn had 30 dungeons or something like that.
Something like that. I mean, we were getting 3 dungeons a patch, dude, for expert. So yeah.
So that's cool. Further proof that the Grand Company thing. What is it called? Squadrons is just forgot about.
Literally dead.
Is literally dead content. Moving on. all of the novice updates. Now this I was actually completely enthralled about. I was like, yes, this is something that's needed to happen. We've talked about it before, that we need a Hall of the Intermediate, Hall of the Advanced, and they're going to train you on specific battle mechanics, because Lord knows that we're tired of this stack marker running away from the rest of the group.
And I agree with you. Here's the thing that I disagree with, though. The fact that you're going to unlock this at level 49. If by level 49 you don't know what a stack marker is, I feel like that's a failure on like the earlier dungeons.
And
like
the
you should
community
be able,
as a whole.
Yes. Like you should know what each marker is by the time you get to level 49. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. I know not everybody does.
It should be a 30 level 30
stack
thing.
markers. Yeah.
Level 30
yeah,
thing
exactly.
would be good.
It should be earlier for sure.
So they're going to do that. They're going to show spread markers, all things that we kind of take for granted at this point now. A tank buster with a wild charge, so it's kind of like a line AoE or a cone AoE, something that is more than just hitting just the tank. But I think they're also they talked about gaze mechanics, look away, eyeball mechanics, and towers. So all things that are absolute staples now in all content. So yeah, this is good. This is a good start. But like, as you put new mechanics in, like train people, put those things in, like put mechanics that you put in Heaven's Ward in a training simulation or something of that nature. So
yeah.
PvP. I know we love PvP, right? Frontline a day keeps the grinding
PvP
away.
Enjoyers in this house, yes, of course.
I don't know about enjoyers, but we just do it for the series. Okay, we do it for the series.
We're PvP tolerators in this house.
PvP tolerators. That's a good way to put it. Extensive update to PvP action execution and hit detection. Hallelujah. Yes.
Yeah, so I think one of the examples that specifically I was watching Mr. Happy's video. One of the examples is Warrior, specifically with the ability Primal Rend. When you use it, it's just like in the game where you dash to whoever you're targeting, right?
Sure.
But it stuns the target as soon as you hit the button. So that time that you're traveling from point A to point B, that person is losing time on their stun. So by the time you get there, they're practically already running around. So what they want to do is they make it so that they stun when you get to the target as opposed to when you hit the button, which is great, at least for Warrior. I don't have a whole lot of experience with other jobs and that kind of stuff, but I think Dark Knight with the draw-in effect is another thing. Yes. So, I think there's a few abilities that they could definitely look at when it comes to this kind of thing. So,
yeah, there's been some shenanigan moments where something will happen and you're like, oh, and then you see all the animations happen. It's like, that just doesn't make sense. So hopefully we just want things to make sense when we're playing the game, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, what happened there? I don't even know what happened. And then the warrior hits you and like, oh, that's why I was stunned. So that's good. PvP job action additions and adjustments, which absolutely needed, because all the jobs play just a little bit differently except for Summoner, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Arena improvements for the Red Sands and Cloud9. Again, I have not done Crystalline Conflict in probably over a year, so I've never even touched Red Sands.
Red Sand. Oh, that's the new one, right? That's the one with like the whirlpool. I haven't touched that or the Clockwork City, which is really bad because I think both of them are good.
Clockwork was really.
I think
good.
They're pretty fun. Yeah, I've heard they're fun, so I'll have to try them. But I know everybody hates Cloud9. It was my personal favorite when the first 3 came out because you could really like mess people up by like stunning them before the knockback or anything. Dude, it was pretty cool.
Getting to the feather before someone else, and you're like, it's a mad dash for the feather, and then you get it, and you watch your.
Yeah, I always like that
your
kind
teammates.
Of thing. All right, because listen, I'm not that great at PvP. I'm gonna be full disclosure. So if there's any different mechanics that I can kind of like cheat people out of and get some easy kills, like I'm all here for it. So, but I think that's why other people hate it, but that's why I like it. So
on the flip side, a lot of people didn't like it because it kind of forced them to use their shield button.
Guard.
Yeah, yes. their guard button. So I'm glad they're making improvements. We'll see what they have intended. Also, battle adjustments for Frontline and Rival Wings. The one adjustment I want to see and maybe you'll agree with me on this, but can we just include rival wings into the frontline roulette, please?
I don't know how they do that, but I would be 100% here for it because I deeply love rival wings. I like it more than frontlines. Like I'll be up front. I'll be real. So if I could play that more often than just when there's like a Moogle Tombstone event or it's giving like a lot of Moogle Tomes,
yep.
I'd be happy. So yeah, let's bring rival wings back to prominence, guys. Yes, revival wings. That's what people call it.
Revival wings. And let's get the other redhead stepchild. The first PvP zone back. The Borderlands one, right?
Yeah, Borderlands Secure or whatever.
Secure, yeah. Yep. Let's get that back into the rotation too, with the improvements.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
New dungeon. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. Wada?
Let me see it.
Wada. Wada Field Station. An heritage fact.
It's a heritage thing.
Yeah.
They Yoshi pronounced it like literally, and I'm not kidding. Like between him and Foxclon, they pronounced it like 20 times yesterday because they also could not pronounce it, so they were both practicing. It was hilarious. But now I can't remember how they said it.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves with the expansion is like I cannot pronounce these names.
Hey, it is lore and it is culturally accurate. Okay, so if they want to name it crazy things, be my guest. But don't get mad at me if I can't effing pronounce it. But I think that was that the city that Ehrenwald was from? Was that like his hometown?
Yeah, I think that's his hometown. So this would be the field station. Yes, this would be the field station near his town. So we got that screenshot, a little bit of a lightning tower underground, looking kind of cool. And then looks like we have a prison cell / medical exam room. So
yeah, that's a cool screenshot.
And of course, it will be tied to the MSQ, and will be part of your expert runs for the next 10 months.
Forever.
So, yeah.
I still, God, man, like I get it. Making dungeons is like dev time, but like. Just 2, like I'm fine with 2. We don't have to do 3. We don't have to be Our Realm Reborn and do 3. All right, but like just having 2 expert dungeons every patch, man.
No, that's fine. We can go back to 2, but the rule of Final Fantasy: when you add something like that, you're taking away from something else. You're not gaining content. You're shifting the resource from one thing to another.
All right, what would I like to get rid of? Just get rid of PvP. That's fine. We just talked about it. Just get rid of it. I don't care.
Yeah, move that PvP series to a dungeon run series. I don't know.
Yeah.
A 24-man. We talked about it at the beginning, but Echoes of Vana'diel, Shadow Lord, Preesh. Being that, it was Shadow Lord, which is the first boss of 11, first main boss. Like, I thought Shantoto was going to be... But you feel that Preesh is a better mascot for the entirety of Vana'diel on 11?
It's a tough call. If you go back to Dissidia, for the original Dissidia, it is Shantoto who is the series mascot. But in Duodecim, it is both Preesh and Shantoto. They are both in it. So I would say they're about equal. I think Shantoto definitely has more staying power when it comes to recognizability than Preesh. But she did get her own little Fate series in this game, like way back when, if you remember, like back in 2.0, like there was that crossover with 11. So like, I wonder if they don't want to like bring her into this because we've already like seen her before.
And so. I mean, was part of the Black Mage storyline, right?
I don't think that's Shatoto. There's no N.
I get that. It's a representation.
It is obviously supposed to be an analog, yes, to Shantoto from 11. So
and just so that people are aware, we're not going to Vana'diel, right? But this is just going to be. We're staying on 14.
I have no effing idea what they're going to do with the story. I don't know.
Well, we'll figure it out. But apparently, we're going to Juno. So
correct.
That's awesome. Having played a little bit of 11,
you've been
I was
there
like,
before.
"Oh, that's Juno." Like I knew exactly what it was before without
that is
reading the
lower
words.
Juno specifically.
Lower Juno.
That's lower. And I wonder if we're going to see any of the other parts of Juneau. I wonder if we're going like up from lower to upper, and then maybe we're going to Rulu Gardens, and then from there we go to the throne room. I don't know how we're going to go from Juneau to the throne room, because in Final Fantasy XI they are literal entire continents apart from each other. But it's magic. We live in a fantasy world in this game, so we'll see.
And again, we're not going to Vanadale. This is still on the 14 world, as far as I know. But yeah, that looks pretty sick, right?
Yep. That is the throne room from Final Fantasy XI. That is in Castle Zaval Keep, which is part of Castle Zaval, which is where the Shadow Lord had his seat of power, from where he waged war against the people of Vanadale. So, that's where, in, I guess, spoilers for like a fucking 25-year-old game or whatever it is now. But that's where you fight him in the MSQ of 11. He is revived. Those crystals that you see in front of the coffin there are magicite, and they revive him, and you have to fight him and stop him before he goes crazy, because that's the Shadow Lord. So interesting to see what they do with this, because I'm here for it, man. I'm all here for it.
Necro Coldfire says in the chat, dark magic is the answer to everything. So
correct.
That's how it happens.
Something magical and dark. Yes.
Yep. All right, I'm putting you on the spot. You know a lot more than I do. We are not getting Shadow Lord as a boss here in this series, right?
Are you sure about that?
In this first set,
I think we do. I think we fight him right there.
You find it right there? Okay. So that's one of the bosses. What do you think the other three bosses could be?
I think we're going to see Promathia at some point. Promathia would be what Zodiark is in 14, except like Zodiark wasn't a true god. He was like a primal god. Promathia legitimately is a god in the Final Fantasy XI universe. He's one of the two that like created the planet. But he is a villain in Chains of Promathia. For the final, I have no idea what they could do. They could do Cloud of Darkness, a different version, because we did fight Cloud of Darkness at the very end of Rhapsodies of Vanadale, which was supposed to be the final story of Final Fantasy XI. It's continuing still. I think they might have just wrapped up Voracious Resurgence, which was a new story that they did pretty recently. So it'd be interesting to see that, but we've already got Cloud of Darkness like a bajillion times, so they could do Hades. Well, we've already done Hades too. I don't know, but Shinryu was another option. But I definitely think we see Promathia at some point, for sure. And I don't know where else we go from there. Maybe the Archangels. We could see Eld Narsh maybe in the next one, and okay. Calm Lanat. Calm Lanat is a representative of the villains of 11 in Dissidia, specifically NT. Calm Lanat was in that game as a villain, so we could see him in the next patch. Actually, maybe we see Calm Lanat in the Juno one, and then we see Shadow Lord, and then we see Promathia. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not quite sure yet, but okay, my bet is on those three.
So let's just stick with Juno then. Let's say that all the bosses will be from the base Final Fantasy XI game.
Okay.
Shadow Lord is the end, we'll say.
Okay.
What are the three?
What were the other three bosses?
What will be memorable from the main game?
It's tough to say. Maybe some sort of shadow dragon. Every because it depends. So Final Fantasy XI is weird because the MSQ that you have to do is based on what nation that you join. Yeah. It's not like in 14 where you join a nation, but all the MSQs are basically the same. I mean, I guess they are branching for like the first 10 levels, and then basically it just merges into one. And But in 11, you basically it's branching, and then it converges to one, and then it branches off again. So the Shadow Dragon is something that you fight. Every nation has to fight for the second. It's 2-3, so it's Mission 2, Quest 3, where you fight the Shadow Dragon in an Offraman. Yeah, so that could be pretty iconic. As for other bosses, like I said, it's hard to say because each nation has their own bosses. We could see the Archangels. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even Shadow Lord's the third boss, and then Archangels is the fourth boss, the final one.
Interesting.
So that's another thing, because in the lore that technically the Archangels come right after Shadow Lord. It's confusing. Well, I won't get too in the weeds with that, but that's also an option. But honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, they could pick any number of things. In Juno specifically, though, I'm like wondering why we're fighting in Juno. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's bringing us there for we're fighting bosses?
Yeah.
Because like in Rabanastre, like it was abandoned. Like there was nobody living there anymore. Like obviously there's stuff happening, but like I don't know. This Juno looks like it's populated. I mean, it looks like people just left or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
It is hard to say. And who knows if this is on the source or if it's on another plane of existence either. So I guess we'll see. Other combat stuff. A new patch means a new trial. With it being 7.1. The 0.1 is usually the extreme for the last MSQ trial. So we're going to get Sphyn's Burden. How are you feeling about that?
I'm fine with it.
I mean, I like the music. I know the music's gonna be good. Do you think we get another Wooklamat Sphyn moment?
No. We don't get Sphyn. Listen to me. We're not gonna get a second version of that. All right? Okay. No. Okay.
I am just hoping that this extreme is better than Endsinger's extreme.
Yeah, Endsinger was a massive letdown. Again, that's another fight where the music is as a banger, but they just didn't bring it with the fight. I'm hoping they do bring it with this one. They've usually had a pretty good track record with the 0.1 bosses. Just Endsinger, they just dropped the ball. So hopefully they just pick it back up.
Hades was amazing.
Hades was good.
If
Thornton was good.
A little long in the execution because you had to go through all that middle stuff with Hades. Shinryu was so good. And what was the
Thornton?
Oh yeah, Thornton Extreme was amazing. So for whatever reason, hopefully we get back to form with this one. So speaking of here's another picture of another part of the trial.
Yeah, apparently I didn't catch this. I've actually not done this fight that much. I've not gotten it in like trial roulette. But apparently she goes through like different calamities. So it looks like this might be the calamity of ice. Yeah. That she's channeling here.
And she's doing lasers and there's a bridge and things. Yeah. Should be interesting.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down to get the wings with the music, dude. I'm down to farm this to 100 totems and not see the wings at all and then get the music. Yeah, that's cool.
I'll just wait for my raid team to get to it at the end of the
expansion. That too.
Speaking of trials, you like Unreals, right? You like doing the Unreals every week?
Unreals, absolutely, I do. Yes.
Yeah, because I mean they're money makers, right?
Correct. I know the joke that's coming, but yes. Yeah. Look,
let's fall down. Right? Let's fall down twice a week with Byakko.
To be fair, I think it's thematic, but it's just boring, dude. Like I wish there was more to do, maybe. While you were falling instead of just like dodging. But
and it's just an Unreal, so they're not going to add any mechanics. It's just going to be the fight, sync to level 90. So that's kind of sad. Really thinking about it though, it's like the Stormblood trials, they're the trials of the mini games in the middle of whatever. Like Shinryu had the quick time event and dragons, so there's a quick time event. Lakshmi had the whack-a-mole thing going on. Susano had the sword thing. Sword thing that didn't actually take that long. This one I think is just hands and above the worst because there's just so much of just all you're doing is just avoiding AoEs basically.
Yeah, it's pretty boring. At least with like Suzaku, like the DDR, at least that's kind of fun. And you're like buffing yourself.
You're buffing yourself.
You have to do better damage if you do it right. So like, there's a benefit to wanting to do the minigame.
Yep.
At least look, Siriu is pretty clean. There's an ad phase in Siriu, but it's an ad phase.
We're not going to see him.
So you don't think we're going to see Siriu?
No. I think we got Byakko. I'm betting we get Shinryu. Tsukiyomi, who has her own long intermission.
Yeah, that's true.
Protecting her twice a week it's going to be like at least I enjoy that fight a lot more than Byakko.
I do too.
And yeah, Suzaku. So there's our other 4.
Ugh, man, I like Siryu a lot. Damn it. All right. Well, I guess we'll see.
All right. But yeah, brand new content finally. Chaotic Alliance raids. So this is where we was like, hey, there's the Cloud of Darkness on the key art. We are getting a Savage level Alliance fight. So think of it like 24-man, an Unreal 24-man fight. Yeah? Is that the best way to put it?
I think that's how we have to put it, yeah.
Only it's more involved because it's not just Unreal. It's not Cloud of Darkness by itself. It's Savage level. So it's one fight. It's not the entire World of Darkness 24-man raid. It's just one. Apparently there's going to be some unique rewards, which I'm excited about. Do you think we'll get actual progression items out of this?
It's a great question. I honestly have no idea. They did say something about how it's going to be incentivized to go back in and help other people every week, and
all right.
I don't know. I'm honestly not sure what they. If I was a betting man, or not a betting man, if I was a game dev, I would just attach it to the Unreal system and then just award leaves for doing it. But I'm not a dev, so I'm not sure what they're going to do. But
I think with the enhanced difficulty, like, and its position in the patch, because it's at the end of a tier, right? Mm-hmm. You got the 24-man to catch up.
It could be catch up, yeah. It could be catch up.
And like, I guess the issue would be like, you could farm if you did progression gear. I think Happy said something about, you know, make it a 730, but give it 3 materia slots. The problem with that is then you'd want to farm that out hardcore for ultimate.
For ultimate, yeah. There's no shot they would do that, dude.
So I don't think they're gonna do that. Maybe they do alternate items, like alternate stats. So instead of like crit debt being your best in slot, you have a crit direct hit.
That could be cool.
Maybe they make something up, but there's got to be more than just mounts and minions, in my opinion. But that might be all we get.
I mean, if those mounts and minions are sellable, like Unreal, I mean, it's going to incentivize people to do it just for money. I mean, that's always an incentivizer.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We'll have to see what they want. You know, maybe it is twines and.
But we're getting that from the 24-man.
It's just more twines, more coatings. I don't know.
Okay. I think we can both agree what we don't want is a criterion level of rewards. Right. I mean, like materia. Like, come on.
To be fair, they did get it right with the last criterion, right? I think that the shiny I would say Abyss weapons were pretty cool.
I would say no, because it required you to finish the raid to get that,
as opposed to not finishing the raid.
No, as opposed to like if you had an ultimate, you just got your own little shiny. You got your own weapon. This was tied. It was an item that you used to upgrade.
Oh no, you're saying like you couldn't even get the weapon unless you had the base weapon, right? So you had to get the coating or the solvent for it, right? Mm-hmm. So you had to be at least a certain point. Okay, I understand what you're saying.
You had to do raids to get, at that point.
I honestly think I think that's a fucking oversight from their part, personally. So
we'll see. I mean, we'll see on the next criterion set. So, but
fair.
It's got to be something more than just materia. I think something more than just glam, mounts, and minions. So I guess we'll see. But looking at some of the mechanics, apparently the guy that did Ozma and some of our favorite.
It's always Mr. Ozma. I can't believe that guy's still working at Square Enix. I mean, I'm glad he is working at Square Enix, but they've had some people leave and.
Yeah.
But Mr. Ozma is still just doing his thing from back in.
I mean, that is the most complex AoE. That I've ever seen in 14.
That is the Twitter/X mechanic, right? Where it's hashtag everything, bro.
It's a hashtag everything else disappears. And then we got enumeration towers on top of that. So with the Thomases teleporting people around to get to their. So I guess someone did a count, and all 24. There's going to be no leeway with this.
It is
all
exactly 24 people.
So
yes,
everyone needs to be planned.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta know the plan. I'm down for it.
I think it's cool. I'm down. I'm 100% down. Yeah.
I'm ready to rage at people like not being on board with this. So don't join if you don't know what you're doing. Especially,
Correct.
Unless if it's week one, it's week one. I get
it. If it's a prog party, it's a prog party, right?
It's a prog party. It's a prog party. The Ultimate Raid, we talked about it.
There they are.
Fru, you love that. Fru, Futures Rewritten Ultimate.
Can't wait. Yep.
I am excited to see that one of the phases is Fatebreaker.
Interesting to see Fatebreaker. I'm wondering if this is the first phase. I wonder if we just get thrown into Fatebreaker.
Most undoubtedly, it's going to be Fatebreaker into Rin Shiva, maybe Shiva Hydaelyn phase, Clouded, and then Gaia's Oracle of Darkness phase. There's a girl Gaia, and then I think we have the merging and the Angel Wings after that. So there could be additional phases. They like to do like 5 to 6 phases or more depending on the fight. So yeah, this is going to be quite the ordeal, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's going to be fun. I enjoyed the whole Eden series of raids, to be honest, and especially I know a lot of people had gripes with Fatebreaker because it was kind of boring after a while, but I always look forward to doing that fight. And I liked Shiva, Light Rampant memes. Let's go. They have to put Light Rampant into Ultimate just for the meme. They know it's a meme. They have to. And then, this is, at least I think people have been calling this quadruple APOC, right? Yeah. So, we had single APOC, double, and then triple, and now we got quadruple. And then we're going to see Penta APOC. I don't know. Is that what people are going to call it? Penta APOC?
No, that's the Enrage, dude. Because there'll be no space there'll be no safe spot with Penta.
I wonder. They've got to do a gimmick, right? So I wonder what the gimmick is going to be this time around. Like, what do you think? Because there's time travel in DSR. There's the Enigma Codex in T. There's the Primal Awakening in Uwu, and then the whole Dynamis thing in Top. I wonder if there's going to be anything in this. Like, what do you think it's going to be? Any ideas?
I honestly don't know. I was just thinking in my head, like, are we going to see a phase with Eden's Promise? Maybe. I know.
I'm wondering. I think Eden's Promise factors at some point in this fight. I think because wasn't that the whole? It's basically like a god. I can't remember what the story was, but isn't that like Mitrin and Logriff together?
Yes,
and they formed together. Into the
instead of the Ascian Prime, it was Eden's Promise that they merged together. But everyone hated Eden's Promise, so
true. Less people than I thought. A lot of people actually liked Eden's Promise as a fight. I don't know. I thought it was.
No.
I despise that Lion Rampant, bro. I don't get out of here.
Not even Lion's Rampant gave me problems. It was the ice thing. There's that whole ice section and sliding around.
Right, where we had to go middle and then we had to go out. Yes. Oh, dude, you're bringing up PTSD, dude.
I know, right?
Vietnam flashbacks. Hail.
Oh, freaking hail. Give Aeon some space. No, just
correct.
Our poor team. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we can, work it together. If we can't, then good luck to each of us. But
we've got time. We've got time to figure it out.
After this, are you ready to wind down and do some mahjong?
Yeah, because I've definitely engaged in mahjong in Final Fantasy XIV. Definitely.
I heard you were an avid mahjong player. Well, now you can spend your hard-earned MGP to get an audience for your games. You can buy the scions and stuff to cheer you on in mahjong fights. It's so weird.
Legitimately, I'm just these voice actors out here getting a paycheck just for doing mahjong comment stuff. Good for them. I'm proud of them that they're.
I'm betting that they were given script parts and they don't even know what it was for.
No, exactly.
They're okay, that doesn't make sense, but this is what you want me to say, and then they cut it out and they apply it to this. It's oh my goodness. If they had only known.
Look, the mahjong players in this game are like hardcore. Okay, so good for them. They're getting some content.
I don't know. I thought it was like Rummy, like, but it's apparently different, and there's all sorts of fun rules. I just don't understand it. So maybe someone will teach me.
Yeah, someday.
Housing updates. Yay! We're getting a new housing. Where are we getting it? Piers, where's it coming from?
There's no new housing, but look,
what the hell?
To be fair, this announcement is actually kind of wild to me.
Okay.
I am fascinated because, well, we'll get there. What's it say on the slide there?
Select interior designs from different residential areas, regardless of your location or plot, and new interior designs will be added, which is cool. So that, you know, if you have a large house, you don't have to be like, oh, I want to move to Shirogane because they have a cooler interior. You could just change it to Shirogane.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know there was a difference between the interiors. Yeah. Like, full stop, I didn't know. Yeah. All I know is I hate the fucking pillars in the Goblet Mansion. So, and I know they showed pictures of no pillars, so I am so happy.
Yes, so they're making new interiors, and some of that, like this is, I believe...
That's the Goblet, 100%.
That's the Goblet, yes. I know Gridania has more dark wood all around, so, but it's kind of the same layout. But here's one of the new interior designs.
So sleek.
Yeah, sleek and clean, no pillars. Looks awesome. But yeah. Another thing, so yeah, you don't have to, like, if you like the Shirogane design, you could just change that. The other thing they talked about, and apparently it's not going to be in 7.1, but sometime in the 7.x series, you'll be able to create the TARDIS?
Yes. Basically.
And what I'm meaning is you can have a small house, but then pay for a large interior.
That's what is the crazy thing. I find that fascinating that they're willing to do that. It's definitely going to devalue medium and large houses, because what is there to even get one of those except for seeing it from the outside? Yeah, like, obviously you see it from the outside, you can do all that stuff, that's cool.
Yeah.
But now you could just get a literal cottage and then decorate it like a mansion. So I mean, look, that is great for everybody who can't get a mansion. Okay, and I know there's a lot of people out there who want housing for sure. So I really do like this change. I just do think that, I don't know, because that they're going to, I know you got your hand up, hold on, I'll call on you in a second. All right. What I will say is that they're going to have to increase server capacity space to allow for all of these new furnishings for all the, because smalls can only do like 200, and now, or like it was like 100 or something, and now like they can go all the way up to 200. So they're going to have to increase server size, and I just want more furnishings in general. I would like mansions to get like another 100 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my personal interest, though, because I have a mansion. I'm one of the privileged few, okay? And I just want to be able to put more stuff in my damn house. All right, that's it.
I think that will come down the road. They're trying to get the bones of what they want to do with housing done first. That's I would think that would start with, I don't know, having more houses available. But I guess this is the medium part of that, so that you don't have your smalls looking necessarily to get a mansion, because all they're doing is then just upgrading their outside. They can upgrade their inside as they please for a fee. So that's cool. And then when more larges become available, maybe those people don't move, and you reduce the demand by doing this, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
So it allows people like me to maybe get that, large, or maybe now I just become, happy to get a medium. I don't need all that space on the outside, but I know now that my medium can be a large.
Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Personally, I kind of like the medium layout better, like full stuff, like no meme. So I might actually go the opposite direction and take my large and take it down to a medium size, because I just like the layout better. So there's also the option to do that. So,
Necro Fire in chat here. Only thing you don't understand about 14 is why can't everyone get housing? That is a great question. Piers, why can't everyone have housing?
I'm guessing it's a server issue, right? Well, okay. It's interesting because you could do instanced housing. It's clearly that you can do instant stuff. They did it with Island Sanctuary, you know, stuff like that. So it is an option. I think one of the reasons that people really like it is because you can show off your house in public areas. It's kind of, people really like that. So they want there to be like a specific house area for people to build their house, show it off, and all that stuff. I'm sure that takes like memory in the system or something, and so you can't have like, you know, you got to upgrade the servers to put more wards, to put more plots, to blah 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 blah. I don't know. I'm not trying to apologize for the lack of housing. I think the lack of housing is an actual issue. I actually know a lot of people in real life that have been struggling to get a house for a long time, and I think that's ridiculous. So I do think there needs to be more plots and more wards. But I'm sure there is some generic, you know, developer speak for why they can't just give everybody a house if they want one. You know what I mean? So maybe in the future, I do hope, but
I think if they had started the system out in the way that Island Sanctuary was done, everyone would have that. But the way they did it as an actual zone for these outside, you know, for these housing communities, leads to there being just like a supply issue. Like they can only do so many extra zones because they're actual zones, not instanced areas like Island Sanctuary.
Yeah.
So
it's got to have something to do with that, you know. And I like the current system for what it is too, because I like going around and being able to explore like a neighborhood.
Sometimes go into other people's houses and be like, hey, that one looks cool, and their doors open, so you go in and you look around.
Exactly. And I've only done a few a few other games that have had housing. Like just recently, I picked up Monster Hunter World again, and you can decorate a house, but like it's instanced, and so like you have to like actually click on and go in, and then you have to do that. Or like Phantasy Star Online has kind of a housing system too, but like again, you have to have permissions to go in and stuff. Where like, you know, you can just walk into a neighborhood in the Goblet and just go around. Maybe their house is open. You go in there, check it out. You know what I mean? It's more freeing, and it's more, I don't know, it kind of feels more like a community when it's just out there like that. So there's pros and cons definitely for an instant system, a non-instant system. You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
So please look forward to that. That was about it. You know, there's our interiors again, and that looks so clean. It looks so nice. Then they went into the merch section. For anyone that gets the soundtrack for Downtrail, I will buy your minion code off you for $20, so that will reduce your price.
My God,
I'm just
saying, get the soundtrack, bro. Just get the soundtrack. There's some bangers on the Downtrail.
It's like $70, and it's a Blu-ray soundtrack for a minion. No, I'm not paying that. I don't care about the soundtrack. The art books is one thing. Soundtracks are another. Like, I have no intention of putting those in.
I mean, look, to be fair, I could just listen to whatever song I want on YouTube. So, the soundtrack is kind of superfluous.
Yes.
So,
I don't know.
But I don't know. There's collectors out there. More power to them. But yeah, that Zero minion, though, it's looking kind of cool. I don't know.
It is. So, yeah. I will buy your minion code off you. Thanks. Merch, new large mouse pad is pretty. That's pretty sick.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I like the one I have / you have.
Yes.
Would I frown if this new one came to me? No. I would replace it. But I'm not going to pay for it.
No.
But
I don't even know about that.
Keychains. You collect these keychains, right?
No, absolutely I don't.
Why not? They're high quality acrylic keychains.
Hold on. I actually had it just... Where did I put it? Now it's going to bother me. I just had literally a job stone that I was like playing with. It was a red mage one, but it was like a little like 3D printed black red mage stone. It's somewhere around here. If I find it, I find it. But nah, I'm good. I'm fine. They do look kind of cool. The Pictomancer one I'm sure is cool because it's like rainbow, so it's kind of slick.
Yeah, it's yellow with the pink and some other colored hues on it. The Viper one, kind of rough.
It's like a slab of steak. Yeah. Now, whose crystal is this? Emmett Selk's crystal?
This is
I don't
supposedly
know.
Emmett Selk's crystal. So I guess
Okay, all right.
you know the shape. I was like, oh, that's the Azem crystal. But I guess the shape, that crystal is for all of the convocation of the 14.
All of the convocation. Remember,
They have that
because we had them all, and then we like put him in front of Elidibus after we like absolutely blasted his ass, and he was
and he's
like,
oh,
I'm
toys.
so sad.
He's like, oh, look, toys. But yeah, that's Emmett Selk's icon. So, and then there's the calendar. So if you want a Dawn Trail 14 calendar, that's cool. Do people actually use calendar still? I can't remember the last time I had a calendar.
I'm sure it is a collector's thing or just something you hang up, you don't actually use. Look, maybe I know there are people out there who actually still mark their calendar, you know, birthday, blah blah blah, you know, they glance at it. Oh, it's Tiffany's birthday, whatever, you know. So cool. If you're into that, you're into that. But you know, everybody has smartphones nowadays, so it just makes it so easy to just but
Necker Ko-Fi in chat, in your opinion, a lot of the Final Fantasy merch is overpriced. Let's be fair. It's not Final Fantasy merch. It's Square Enix merch as a whole is just absolutely price gouging all their merch. They know they have fanboys that will pay the exorbitant prices, like $200+ for a statue. Yes, you get an emote. That's cool in game, but like that's just insane. Like a calendar, I'm sure that calendar is $50.
Probably 50. That's what I
each one of these
thought,
keychains, I believe, is like $20. That mouse pad, which I would say maybe $30, is probably like $50. So like it's just across the board. Square Enix is just ruthless with their pricing for their merch. So
they are. I mean, look, they're not the only company that overprices their things and like under produces their things for, you know, inflated scarcity.
Yes, they overprice and then underproduce it. So like there's only, you know, get yours now. Well, there's only 30 of them. Yes. It's like, oh my god.
There's a controversy with the Pokemon Company just last week where there was like a Pokemon Championship in Hawaii where they underproduced a lot of their limited edition stuff, and literally scalpers went in, bought it all, and then went outside the venue and set up a shop where you could go and buy the gouged prices of their produced stuff. Like, it's just a thing companies are doing nowadays, which honestly needs to stop, including Square Enix, including Pokemon, including Wizards of the Coast. They all need to quit with this shit. But that's, you know, we're just consumers. What can we do? You know,
just don't buy it. Keep your money.
Fair. Best you can do. Yeah.
You know, their bottom lines, if they're looking for actual returns on that merch line, like they know what they need to do: produce more, drive down the price a little bit. I bet you make a lot more money when you can get in the hands of more people.
Yeah.
This T-shirt though,
it's slick.
It's pretty awesome. Like, if this is reasonably priced, I might buy it. I like it.
Yeah, I do. I am a Kryl stan. Okay, so I might just have to get it for a Kryl.
And I know you love Picto.
Oh, I'm not wearing my white shirt. I was wearing that before the stream, but that's the only other thing I got. Is Kryl on that? I don't even know if Kryl's on that shirt with all the scions. Ooh, it might just be Tataru.
It might just be Tataru. I don't think she's on it.
So, you know, that might be the only Kryl shirt, so I might have to get it.
Yeah. Because technically she wasn't really a scion until Dawn Trail.
Yes, that's true.
Student of Baldessian. So, there's these cool fans.
Yeah, Yoshi had that like all night, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" Oh, it's a fan. Got it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
digging it. Yeah. And then lastly, did you know that there is a tabletop RPG for Final Fantasy?
And I'll be honest with you, I'm actually quite interested in it. I have listened to a few YouTube videos of them going over the mechanics of it, and it actually sounds really, really interesting to play. If you're into tabletop at all, any of you out there listening, like if you're into D&D, maybe give this a try. There are some interesting mechanics in there that kind of differentiate itself from
D&D,
like D&D, but also bring some Final Fantasy flair. Like when you attack, you're like doing a combo. Like you do like full thrust, and then you do like Vorpal thrust on Dragoon, and then you do like and then you basically always hit, but you're rolling to see if you direct hit. So if you roll over a certain number, you direct hit, and then if you roll like a natural 20, you crit. So you like crit direct hit, and it's really cool.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm kind of interested. Maybe you mean Ultima? We all pitch in and we all do some Do some gaming like
Hell
that.
yeah.
Yeah, let's
I'm
go. I hear the price though is again, it's one of their merch lines, so
Of course
but
it is.
it's a tabletop RPG, so you don't have to take D&D and convert it to Final Fantasy. It's a Final Fantasy one. So yay.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. That was it for the for this live letter. Crossroads. Please look forward to it in November, hopefully on the 19th. That's my hope and dream. What'd you
yours
think?
and mine. I think it was good. It was a good, shorter, more concise live letter.
That's thanks to Tokyo Game Show.
Tokyo Game Show,
Because they had a limit of time on the stage, and they had to get off for the next set to come on. So they had a limited time. They had to keep it tight. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm down with that. You know, look, I like their. Okay, I shouldn't say I like, because I honestly don't watch them. Their second halves of live letters, right, where they go on break, they come back, and they usually like, you know, random voice actor number 637,
or sound engineer,
voice actor, or sound engineer. And look, I'm really great for them who are interested in that, but I'm just here for the juicy stuff. Yeah. So like, look, if you can just get out all the cool stuff in like an hour or whatever it took, I'm all for it. Yeah.
So yeah, good live letter. And that is a wrap for our return episode number 21 of Hydaelyn's Heroes. I think the plans are MSQ, so that might be a longer one next week. Then tentative plan is to talk about jobs and job balance the week after. So,
that'll be an interesting one.
Yeah.
I believe they mentioned, I didn't mention this, okay, but I think they mentioned that they're not going to do any nerfs to jobs before Ultimate. They
rarely do. Rarely do nerfs.
I think I read that. Pictomancer needs to be. I'm sorry, bro. We'll get into this in the 2 weeks. All right. Yeah. Pictomancer needs to be nerfed. I'm sorry. Straight up, just needs to be nerfed. And I love that. I love the job. It just needs to do like 3% party buff instead of a 5%, like Reaper. Like, why is it doing 5% party buff?
When we talked about it, that the issue lies in its core mechanic of the paintings.
Oh, that's the main reason why it's cracked. Yes, I agree. Yes. Anyway, yes. So, but I do expect there to probably be some buffs for the Ultimate. So I'm excited for that. But yes, I'm excited to talk about where job balance is right now. So that'll be a cool episode. You guys should tune in for that one.
But yeah, that's it for Hydaelyn's Heroes today. Thank you for joining. Piers, where can people find you, sir?
Pretty much nowhere. I'm like a absolute hermit. I don't have a Twitter or an X or anything like that. I know that's kind of always been the meme. You can see that my Twitch name, it's always on my left hand. It's my left hand right there, right? You can see Raideo_Piers. That's my Twitch. The joke is that I haven't streamed in a long time. That is the joke, but I do want to get back into it. I say this every time. But, I have a bunch of games in my backlog that I think would be a lot of fun to play with other people. So if you do see what? Me, I've got what's on my backlog right now. I know RE Fantasia or what Metaphor Fantasia, whatever that game is.
Oh, Metaphor
just got a demo, so I've been meaning to play that demo. So that'd be really cool. I just got the DLCs for Final Fantasy 16, so I'll be getting back into that because I do want to get those done too. So come check me out for that. And then I've got I've been playing Ace and stuff like that. I have been getting back into Monster Hunter World, so maybe I'll stream some of that. Will be a lot of fun. And I did have that playthrough of Dark Cloud 2. Don't think I forgot about that, guys.
You did. So, you did do that. That was awesome.
Back into that.
Did you finish that?
So no. I'm only on the first.
You finished
chapter.
one.
I streamed all of one. Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, that's where you can find me. Of course, you can find me in Final Fantasy 14 as well. I'm on the Leviathan server on the Primal Data Center. Piers Harvey, just like my name there with Harvey at the end, like Cecil Harvey. You can always send me a tell. If you see me online, there's a 99% chance that I'm not doing anything, and I'll be happy to help you guys with whatever you want, or just chat or whatever. So come by, say hi, and But where can people find you, my friend?
Oh, that is a great question. You can find my Twitch or YouTube all at Tarkoth Gaming. Finally get back in on YouTube, and this is where you can find it on YouTube for the future. Playing Final Fantasy 14 most of the days of the week. We do an alternate game typically on Sundays or Mondays. We just finished Demon Souls, working on Dark Souls 1. I think doing pretty good on the progress on that. I'm gonna go through Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, then Elden Ring. So I finished off the From Software Souls-like extravaganza. After that, that's gonna be months, years down the road. After that, we'll see. But yeah, I'm interested in a lot of games coming out. But yeah, hopefully you tune in for all of that. But yeah, and that's gonna be a wrap for us today. Until next time, though, y'all take care of yourselves. Stay safe. End of line, my friends.
Goodbye. Farewell. Avita say. Does that help? Yeah.